Hello everybody, so here is Black Angel again, and I'm here with a video to advocate ESTPs. I have recently found myself in a situation such that it made me realize that a little detail about ESTPs needs some clarification because it's unfair to keep saying that thing about them. So there's this thing that is both written in the literature and going around on websites that ESTPs would be the insensitive type. Now, I don't know about ENTPs, but I suspect that things are basically the same for them. But anyway, ESTPs are anything but insensitive, guys. So why is it written in the literature? Because long story short, it's easier to understand and to just define them insensitive than to go explain in detail how things work and why they're not insensitive and why they should rather be considered just fair and straightforward. Let me give you an example of what I mean here. The reason why ESTPs are considered insensitive is that they do not have introvert feeling. And they do not use introverted feeling. So introverted feeling, and they also have very weak extroverted feeling. So introverted feeling is that kind of function that requires a person to put on a facade of understanding towards others. So an introverted feeling type will likely feel hurt about something but display that they don't. That's not extroverted feeling, that's introverted feeling. Extroverted feeling is the expression of internal moods externally, so it cannot be anything but sincere. Whereas introverted feeling has a tendency not to be sincere. And that's because to an introverted feeling type, the most important thing is to shelter and protect their own feelings and their internal emotional states, so to speak, so their feelings basically. They're going to do everything in their power to be always in a positive, so to speak, kind of state of mind, kind of mood inside. So here is what happens when someone walks up to someone else. So this is something that happens regardless of type in society. When you walk up to someone and you tell them something that is going on in your life for which you require advice, the other person is going to react XYZ way. That's subjective. We know that. It's actually quite related to type, but not completely. So the opinion of a person comes from their experience. But anyway, they will give you a certain kind of answer. The generalized expectation when this person provides an answer, regardless what answer it is that you're going to be grateful even if it's not useful. If it's completely useless for you, and even if it's painful, the social expectation for that answer is that you thank the person and walk away, or thank the person and keep talking. So that's the basic expectation in society. That's also a rule. For example, ESTJs do not have a particularly strong introverted feeling themselves, but since they are predisposed towards this way of thinking, they have an internal rule that is a social norm, that whenever someone tries to help you, you gotta be thankful. So they're going to be thankful and they're going to be appreciative of the person's effort. An ESTP will not. Again, I don't think ENTPs are different from this perspective, but there are other things written about ENTPs and not specifically this one. Anyway, the point is that FI vulnerable people, so FE tertiary, ENTPs and ESTPs are not going to follow this rule. Also because they are the types that go against extroverted thinking. So they do not follow social norms. So here is what happens. If an ESTP walks up to you and tells you something that is going on in their lives, first of all, they're not asking for advice. That's not how ESTPs work. The ESTP is not going to be the kind of person that you can support the way you normally support everybody else. They do not accept emotional support. They do not accept any kind of support other than introspection. So whenever an ESTP walks up to you and tells you something that is happening in their lives, they expect you to be thankful because they are sharing with you their experience in life, and they're also helping you through their experience for your personal development, your personal growth, and to see how society works and what is around them. So they use their experience to help you. That's basically how they work. Unless you are someone that they have very close in their circle and to whom they normally walk to ask for support specifically, in which case they're going to be very clear about the kind of support they need. They are going to have this characteristic that they do not allow any kind of support towards them, especially not emotional support of the kind that we said before, like, oh my God, you must be so hurt about this thing and such and such. That kind of thing does not work with an ESTP. So whenever someone tells an ESTP something that the ESTP is not going to welcome, the ESTP is going to be extremely honest about that thing. So one example, the ESTP walks up to you and tells you that his girlfriend is behaving in a way that is not, that he doesn't have very clear and he doesn't really understand. And he closes the thing there. What they're telling you in this circumstance is careful, because it can happen to you in your life that sometimes you don't understand what others are actually doing and you will need clarification. If your answer is going to be, oh, your girlfriend is actually a bitch, it's about time that you figure that out, you're going to be steamrolled. Because an ESTP is extremely protective of the people they consider in their close circle. The ESTP has a close circle of people around them. And if you belong that very close circle, which normally is about 2 or 3 people, you cannot be insulted in any possible way. If you have something that is wrong with you in some way, the ESTP is going to exclude you from that circle, but only when they consider that it is the case to do so. So any external influence walking up to the ESTP and doing that kind of thing is going to be steamrolled. What you're going to get is an explosion of rage without boundaries, in which the ESTP is going to be extremely clear about the fact that you have to mind your own business and to wash your mouth before talking about these people. His or her people, normally. They're going to put you in a position to apologize, and they're going to force you to be respectful. They're not going to give any space to any doubt whatsoever about what they want you to do in that specific moment. They expect an apology. They will demand an apology. They will not be open to discussion or to compromise. And you are going to be put in a corner and put on the spot until you bend and do exactly as they want. And they know how to do that. They know how to make you do that. So that's why ESTPs are considered insensitive. But I want you to consider this. Who is the truly insensitive person here? Because you have no right to tell anyone anything about people that they care about. This is something that introverted feeling dominants are supposed to understand pretty well, because they're not very open to any commentary whatsoever on the people they like. So why is that different if the ESTP has a close circle, and why is the ESTP supposed to expect any kind of insult or negative commentary whatsoever about the people they care about or that they have under their wing? Because that's how it works. An ESTP has people under their wing. So if you are under an ESTP's wing, consider that you have a tiger at your door, a dragon at your door that is going to protect you from whatever the hell is going to try to touch you. That's one thing. And this is where introverted feeling dominant and introverted feeling vulnerables are opposed. Like I said, the introverted feeling dominant is not going to accept any negative commentary about anyone that they like, but they're not going to tell you. So they're going to thank you for your intervention. They're going to delete you from their list of people that they consider someone to talk to. And from that moment on, you're just excluded from their life without knowing why. And whatever you told them is not going to be taken into account. That's an INFP or an ISFP. The ESTP and the ENTP, that are the complete opposite, on the other hand, are going to explode in your face and tell you to fucking stay in your place and not to insult people that they care about. Like I said, the ESTP is going to be extremely violent about it, whereas the ENTP is probably going to be a little bit more calm in the demeanor, but straightforward in the way of saying so. I have my cousin that is an ENTP, so I'm trying to think how exactly he behaves. It becomes extremely sarcastic, bitter, and biting in the way he talks. But he keeps his cool. He's an introvert sensing type, so he doesn't really become aggressive. It's not visible that he's aggressive, but you can sense his anger. And you sense it especially in the fact that he's going to repeat a bunch of times that you're stupid and you're an idiot and you don't know what you're talking about. That's basically the attack weapon of an ENTP, to tell you that you're stupid and you don't know what you're talking about. They like that word. I would type Dr. Rouse in ENTP from that perspective. They like telling people they're stupid and showing people how stupid they are. That's why they are the ISFP's conflictor. Conflicting type are types that will never get along no matter what happens. So yeah, whereas the ESTP's conflicting type is the INFP. The INFP, as you know, is a very Jesus Christ, put up some backbone kind of type. You have no clue how much I enjoy saying shit about INFPs. Exactly for that reason, because they lack a backbone. And my cousin, just to be clear, is an INFP. And she decided on her own to grow up. She started doing yoga, meditation, and all that kind of stuff, which is extremely weird for an INFP. And at some point, she came out of her cocoon and goes like, okay, I'm an extremely judgmental person that doesn't tell people what she thinks in the face. And I think this is a nice thing. I'm like, what the fuck? I respect the shit out of you. I respect people that know who they are. And this girl, my cousin, we have a very, very beautiful relationship from that moment on, because she knows who she is. I know who she is. I know what she does. She knows what she does. And she doesn't get hurt if she hears that. I told her, and I showed her, translating it to her, my INFP video, and she was like, yeah, that's me, that's how I work, and she was basically laughing about it. Anyway, yeah, they are the kind of person that doesn't tell you anything, that expects to show you through their behavior what you should be like, and so on. And they're always going to try to find common ground about everything, even if they don't want you in their life, they're going to show that, and so on, which is the exact opposite of the ESTP. The ESTP is right in your face, screaming like a banshee with the utmost force and the biggest outburst of rage that you can ever imagine. That's an ESTP. And this is why they are considered insensitive, because they do not work by social standards, like we said, and they're not going to restrain their anger and fake something that they do not think, or they do not consider fair. They are extremely just anyway. They are justice incarnate. And they are just exactly because they are never going to get angry if they're wrong. An ESTP is never going to get angry if they're wrong. So if they attack you, you did something wrong. You can rest assured about that, because they have extreme control, and they only explode when they decide that it makes sense to explode because they were objectively wronged. That's an ESTP. From there on, they might be a little bit excessive, and I can give you that. But if you succeed in hearing what they're saying, then in between the screens, then you're going to figure out that they have a point and they are right about that thing. I thought this is very important to share, because this kind of thing is one of those things that cause commotion in society and difficulties among people. So it's good to know when and why things happen. So you can keep thinking ESTPs are the devil if you want, but they're actually not. And I thought it was important to show that. So this is everything I have about this topic, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.